Good afternoon, everybody. To all our esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, representatives from the Diplomatic Corps, captains of industry, all protocols observed. Sorry. Welcome all to Tutwa's Tutwa Consulting Mauritius' first anniversary gathering, and thanks very much for joining us. Almost a year to the day, Tutwa Consulting Mauritius held its company launch right here at Voila, in fact, in this very, very room. At the time, we were incredibly excited and a little anxious, well, at least I was, for the journey ahead. A year later, with the overwhelming support of all our Mauritian partners, and including the Economic Development Board, who have been walking this journey with us since 2019, we've been able to well establish Tutwa Consulting Group Mauritius and grow the Tutwa Group as a whole and have a little fun along the way. As proof of this, a year on, we're still a little anxious, but very much looking forward to the years ahead in beautiful Mauritius. This year, we've grown our engagements in Mauritius from 1 day to 4 days in a program of seminars that started this week. Yesterday, at our kickoff infrastructure seminar, we were pleased to be joined by Joan Munda from the UNDP, who presented the study that Tutwa had worked on with the team. We'll hear some more of the work that Tutwa has been undertaking over the last year. Sorry, I'm nervous. Leslie Wentworth, Tutwa Consulting Group Managing Director, will share some thoughts and pictures as we take a look at our first year. I'll hand over to Leslie. Thank you.
Hello everybody, and thank you so much for being here. I'm going to do a little tour around Tutwa, and maybe I'll start off, thanks Fabienne, I'll start off with a couple of pictures. First of them being, I think at least one of you non-Tutwa team knows what Tutwa stands or what Tutwa means. Where's Monde? Monde, explain to us. First of all, tell us your language and what Tutwa means in your language.
I'm from Zambia, and my language is Rose from the western part of Zambia, and Tutwa means giraffe.
Right. So Tutwa Consulting Group, and it means exactly this. How we describe ourselves is maybe not as agile as the giraffe, but certainly in terms of the old African idiom where we kind of stick our heads above the fray, or being able to see the wood for the trees. The giraffe is the only animal that can see over the forest and can see where danger lies, and that's how we position ourselves in terms of the global and in particular the African political economy. So this has become our symbol, and you'll find on your chairs, all of you, I feel like Oprah, you get a bag, you get a bag, you get a bag. Please, these are yours to take away as mementos of our first anniversary celebration, our first birthday. Hereby hangs a tale. Our Mauritian director, Hussein Ali, actually came up with the design of the bag, and we thank you very much, Hussein, for finding just the exact giraffe that made all of the girls happy to place on the bag. I want to tell you a little bit because we tend to do little bit pieces. We've done some events. We've written some pieces. I wanted to share with you just a little bit, give you a snippet of the kind of work that we do before I share with you the really beautiful pictures, some of which Fabienne took and has been taking for us for the past year. So our thanks and a big shout out to you, Fabienne. Our work has predominantly been in the trade and investment space. We do research related to trade policy, trade agreements, investment agreements. We are very significantly involved in the African Continental Free Trade Area and its agreement. We were one of the early consultants working on the design of the AFCFTA many years ago, and we've been engaged ever since. In fact, tomorrow, as part of our program of seminars, we are running a 2-day workshop. Some of our colleagues are here and will be participating in the AFCFTA engagement and training tomorrow. We work on private sector development. We are very much a private sector oriented organization, but we work with government as well. Whether this is in the form of technical assistance support, whether it's in the form of development of or assistance with development of policies, trade, investment, and we've also begun, and more will be said about our digital space and e-commerce space in the next few minutes. Many of our business associations are represented. Our business association clients are going to be represented or are represented. I know we've got the SADC Business Council, we've got the East African Business Council, who we've been working closely with over many years. We work with public sector, not only governments, but the regional economic communities as well. And our esteemed colleague from the EAC is with us today. Dio Gracious, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate that. In terms of our just energy transition, we've just developed, we've just launched with partners in South Africa, a time to transition database, which is focused on monitoring policy commitments and actual implementation of carbon reduction processes and the conversion to renewable energy. And then we do training, whether it's at the corporate level, on trade policy, on digital diplomacy, etc. Just I think I skipped a slide. No, just a couple of notes about the projects that we've been involved in. We work with some of the United Nations agencies, including the UNDP and one of our colleagues, Joanne Manda, who Melanie referenced, will be with us in a short while. We ran yesterday's infrastructure investment and financing seminar in collaboration with the UNDP. We are working with the regional economic communities, IGAD and EAC, with an African Development Bank, United Nations, UNHCR project focused on the investment climate and economic inclusion for refugees, returnees, and affected communities. We also look at we've been very much involved in the COVID-19 pandemic and building resilience for the private sector beyond the COVID-19 pandemic. So looking at ways in which to build sectoral approaches. We've done this in collaboration, for instance, with the SADC Business Council. Most recently, we've launched a regional trade network, and this we've done under the auspices of the USAID funded project, which is supporting our 2-day workshop on the AFCFTA tomorrow. And please speak to our colleagues. If there's any interest from you or any of your associates to participate in the program, please do let one of the Tutwa team know a little later. I'll share this with you, but you know, the work that we do is with, as I mentioned, regional economic communities, but also with the African Union. The African Union Development Agency, we've worked on a medicines program, pharmaceutical program, we've worked on industrialization programs with them. We've been supporting UNECA, United Nations Economic Commission on Africa, in work on the African Continental Free Trade Area. And our colleague from Ghana, we've worked closely on one of his papers, which he will launch on Friday. Yeah. So we've been busy. We've really worked hard in the past year, and we are so grateful for the support that we've gotten from our council, our directors, our amazing Georgina, who is everything from PR to advisor, and we really sincerely appreciate what you do for us. I just want to, I'm sure some of you recognize these pictures, so I'm going to run through them really quickly because I know we're awaiting the big evening event. I'm sure some of you recognize these, Vinay. These are last year at the launch event. We've come full circle in the past year. Remember these? And I think Melanie is right. We were a little anxious then. We're so much more relaxed now, right? Barney, Melanie. This is some of the work that we do under the UNHCR program. So Dia will be, he'll recognize some of these pictures. He'll recognize the UNHCR convoy that descended on a camp, one of the refugee camps in, I think 5 or 7 UN vehicles. I don't know if you were here at the time, Dio, at the equator in Zambia. So a lot of work. This is at the Namanga border, where we were actually driving from Nairobi to go and meet with Dio and them in Arusha in Tanzania. And this is some of the Tutwa at work and leisure. Rafia, Tabello. We really have a passion for the development, the socio-economic development of Africa. This is in Niger, Niamey. This is the D'Artagnan and the Three Musketeers. I'm not sure who D'Artagnan is, if it's Ziad or Kane, helping us negotiate the French in Niamey. And this is yesterday, the beginning of our program of seminars for this year. It was an amazing, the fruition that had come, planning of a year, putting the effort into it, and some of the most amazing conversations that were held yesterday with financiers, international organizations, and the consultants around the table. Marcus and Monde bringing to our attention one of the most amazing projects that we really hope to be able to work on with them in Zambia. More about that, I think, at the break. Please go and chat with the two of them. They have an incredible project underway. Some of you may recognize this gentleman from Standard Chartered. This is our esteemed client from the UNDP, Joanne Munda, much spoken about. Marcus and Monde. This young gentleman is not with us tonight, but really gave incredible input into the infrastructure seminar yesterday. Rajesh Jita, Dr. Rajesh Jita. This young lady is with us tonight, also gave incredible input, and thank you for that, Barney. And then Sapphire Capital Partners, Deva, who we really appreciated, Marianne, who we really appreciated his input from the financing side. Some of us. And this was the group photograph from yesterday. I'm going to end my presentation here, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to thank you, and I want you to please stick around so that we can do a group photograph and we can show this off in a year's time as well. So thanks.
Thank you, Leslie. Some incredible pictures there. Next in the program, we have our keynote address by Barrister Dina Jita, Tutwa's legal counsel, with whom our association started way before we arrived in Mauritius, and without whose sage strategic advice and guidance, we would be truly lost. Dina will be joined by Hussein Ali, one of Tutwa's Mauritius directors. Dina, give the floor.
Thank you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with all protocol observed, it is an honor to address you today on a topic of great significance in our rapidly changing world. So today we will be talking about the digital era and how it is impacting our world. We are living in a digital era where technology is advancing at an unprecedented pace. Every aspect of our lives is being impacted by technological innovation, and this presents us with both opportunities and challenges. As we embrace new technologies, we must also be mindful of the risk that they present. I would therefore like to discuss the need for a new form of political economy thinking to transform the world and the emerging risks that we must address and consider the benefits as well. First, let us consider the need for a new form of political economy thinking. Our current economic models are based on the assumption that resources are scarce and we must allocate them efficiently. I'm sure there are economists in the House who would like to comment on it later on. This assumption has served us well for many years, but it is no longer sufficient. We now have access to vast amounts of data and computational power, and this is changing the nature of our economy. Thus, in this new economy, we must focus on creating value rather than allocating resources. This means we must think beyond traditional economic models and embrace new forms of collaborations and innovation that is based in the principles of inclusivity and sustainability. Innovation is critical because it enables us to create new opportunities and solve problems that were previously unsolvable. Inclusivity is essential because it ensures that everyone has access to the benefit of innovation and that no one is left behind. Sustainability is necessary because it ensures that we can continue to innovate and grow without compromising the future of our planet. Innovation. In respect to innovation, it is key to unlocking the potential of the digital age. However, innovation is not easy, and it requires a supportive ecosystem that encourages experimentation and risk-taking. One of the most critical components of an innovative ecosystem is a robust intellectual property regime. Intellectual property laws enable innovators to protect their ideas and to reap the benefits and rewards of their investments. Without a strong IP regime, innovators would have little incentive to invest in new ideas and innovation would stagnate. Another essential component of an innovative ecosystem is a supportive regulatory environment. Regulations can be a double-edged sword. They can either stifle innovation or promote it. In the digital age, we need regulations that strike a balance between protecting consumers and fostering innovation. Regulations must be flexible enough to accommodate new business models and technologies while still ensuring that they are safe and reliable. The next point to be addressed is inclusivity. Inclusivity is essential in the digital era because it ensures that everyone has access to the benefits of innovation. Inclusive growth is growth that is shared by everyone, regardless of their background or circumstances. It is growth that is sustainable and that does not leave anyone behind. One of the most significant challenges we face in creating an inclusive economy is the digital divide. The digital divide is the gap between those who have access to digital technologies and those who do not. It is a significant barrier to inclusive growth because it limits the ability of those who are not connected to participate fully in the digital economy. To bridge the digital divide, we need policies that promote universal access to digital technologies. This means investing in broadband infrastructure in underserved areas, providing digital skills training to those who need it, and ensuring that everyone has access to affordable digital devices. In addition to bridging the digital divide, we also need policies that promote diversity and inclusivity in the workforce. This means ensuring that everyone has equal access to education and training, and that there are no barriers to entry based on gender or race. We must also consider the impact of technology in our social and political systems. As we create new forms of superintelligence, we must ensure that they are aligned with our values and aspirations. This brings me to the emerging risks that we must address. As we develop new technologies, we must be mindful of the risks that they pose to our society. These risks fall into three categories. Technical risks are the risks associated with the development of new technologies. These risks include cyber attacks, system failures, and the unintended consequences of technological innovation. As we develop new technologies, we must be mindful of these risks and take steps to mitigate them. Maybe Kiru might say a few words about this later, but not right now, once I'm done. Economic risks are the risks associated with the impact of technology on our economy. As automation and artificial intelligence replace human labor, we must find new ways to create value and distribute wealth. We must also consider the impact of technology on the nature of work and the role of education in preparing people for the future. At this point, I might call on Shalini from Accenture to say a few words. Maybe now or later, it's up to you. Would you like to say something from your side in this respect?
I think you're covering a lot of things, and I'm happy. So for everyone, I'm the managing director of Accenture Technology. So I'm happy to see that technology is everywhere. Your first sentence was quite appealing to me, and we did say in one of our tech visions 10 years ago that every company will be a technology company it also comes with responsibility, and you mentioned a few of them, which is the fact that technology needs to be inclusive. Technology can also be used to encourage inclusivity. Same for sustainability, actually. We can think about how we make technology sustainable, but we can also think about how we use technology to attain our sustainability objectives. And then the third one is political, and I would say in terms of policy and in terms of how we make it legal or we make it proper and correct. And that would be the same. I think it works both ways.
Absolutely.
We have boundaries for technology, but we can also use technology to implement those boundaries.
Thank you very much, Shalini. The next is the social risks. Social risks are the risks associated with the impact of technology on our society. As we create new forms of superintelligence, we must ensure that they align with our values and aspirations. We must also consider the impact of technology on our social systems and the potential for technology to exacerbate existing inequalities. One of the most significant risks posed by digital technology is the potential for it to alter the fabric of human society. And I think this is something that we should not take lightly. We have already seen how digital technology can exacerbate inequalities in education and employment, and even displace jobs. And there is a risk for this trend to continue. It is therefore crucial that we focus on developing technologies that promote equity and inclusivity instead. Another significant risk posed by digital technology is the potential for it to be used as a tool of oppression. This is not a new phenomenon, but the scale and scope of digital technology mean that it has the potential to be used in ways that were previously unimaginable. We have already seen how technology can be used to track and monitor individuals, and there is a risk that this could be used as a tool of repression. It is therefore crucial that we develop technology that is transparent, accountable, and designed with ethical principles in mind. There is also a risk that digital technology will undermine our sense of privacy and personal autonomy. As our lives becomes increasingly interconnected, we leave a digital footprint that can be traced and tracked. This presents significant challenges to our sense of privacy and personal autonomy, and it is crucial that we develop technologies that protect these values. This includes developing robust privacy law and regulation and ensure that individuals have control over their personal data. To navigate these challenges, we must develop a new form of political economy thinking that is better suited to the complexities of our times. This new form of thinking must be grounded in a deep understanding of the impact of digital technology on society. It must be forward-thinking and adaptable. It must also be rooted in a commitment to equity, justice, and inclusivity. Despite these risks, we must not lose sight of the tremendous benefits that comes with these innovations. They have the potential to revolutionize the way we live, we work, and interact with each other. They can enhance our abilities to solve complex problems, create new knowledge, and even cure diseases. With the help of superintelligence, we can develop the smarter machines that can help us solve global problems, such as climate change, poverty, and hunger. We can use this intelligence to create new forms of sustainable energy, improve healthcare, and even explore the mysteries of the universe. We must not shy away from the possibilities with these technological advancement brings. Instead, we must embrace them, but with a cautious mind. We need to work together to develop ethical frameworks and regulations to ensure that the benefits of these technologies are maximized whilst the risks are minimized. Moving on, I would like to say a few words about digital diplomacy as well. a topic that has now become increasingly important in our interconnected and fast-paced world. Digital diplomacy is becoming important in today's world as the use of digital technologies and social media is transforming the way the governments and diplomats communicate and interact with each other and with the public. One of the main benefits of digital diplomacy is that it can help to break down barriers between countries and cultures and facilitate dialogues and cooperation on global issues. By using digital tools such as social media, governments and diplomats can engage with a wider audience and communicate their messages more effectively. This can help to build trust and understanding between different countries and cultures and promote collaboration on issues such as climate change, human rights, and global health. However, there are also challenges associated with digital diplomacy. One of the main challenges is the use of social media and other tools can sometimes lead to the spread of misinformation and propaganda. This can make it difficult for governments and diplomats to communicate their messages effectively and can undermine trust and cooperation between countries. Another challenge is that digital diplomacy requires a new set of skills and competencies. Diplomats need to be able to navigate social media and other digital platforms effectively and to communicate their messages in a way that resonates with different audiences. This requires a different mindset and approach to traditional diplomacy, which can be challenging for some diplomats who are used to more traditional forms of communication. Despite these challenges, digital diplomacy has the potential to change our mindset in a number of ways. By facilitating dialogues and cooperation between different countries and culture, digital diplomacy can help to promote a more global and interconnected worldview. It can also help to promote transparency, accountability in international relations by making it easier for governments and diplomats to communicate their messages and engage with the public. Trade diplomacy plays a critical role in promoting economic growth and stability. By fostering international trade relations, countries can expand their markets, attract foreign investment, and benefit from the exchange of goods and services. However, trade diplomacy is not just about facilitating trade. It also involves resolving disputes, negotiating trade agreements, and promoting the interest of businesses and industries. One of the primary objectives of trade diplomacy is to promote free and fair trade. This means ensuring that trade barriers such as tariff, quotas, and regulations do not unfairly restrict trade. It also means promoting fair competition and protecting intellectual property rights. Another key objective of trade diplomacy is to promote economic development and poverty reduction. By promoting trade, countries can create new job opportunities, increase access to goods and services, and generate new revenue streams. This can help to lift people out of poverty and promote economic growth and stability. However, trade diplomacy can also be challenging. Negotiating trade agreements requires a deep understanding of the interests and priorities of different countries and industries, and often involves complex and contentious issues. Furthermore, disputes can arise between countries over trade policies, which can lead to tensions and even trade wars. To address these challenges, effective trade diplomacy requires a collaborative and strategic approach. This includes building strong relationships with other countries and stakeholders, identifying shared priorities and interests, and working to address differences and resolve disputes in a constructive and transparent manner. Now we move to Mauritius. Mauritius as a platform and showcase of digital and trade diplomacy in Africa. Mauritius is a small island nation located in the Indian Ocean with a population of 1.3 million people, on or about. Despite its small size, Mauritius is emerging as a key player in the digital and trade diplomacy landscape in Africa. Infrastructure and innovation. Over the past few years, Mauritius has made significant strides in developing its digital infrastructure and promoting digital innovation. The country has invested heavily in building a robust telecommunications network with high-speed broadband connectivity and advanced mobile services. This has helped to create a thriving digital ecosystem with a growing community of tech entrepreneurs and startups. Moreover, Mauritius has also taken a proactive approach to digital diplomacy. The government has launched several initiatives to promote Mauritius as a hub for digital innovation and entrepreneurship, including the creation of a dedicated regulatory framework for the digital economy and the establishment of a digital innovative hub. In addition to its digital initiatives, Mauritius has also emerged as a leading platform for trade and diplomacy in Africa. Today, Mauritius is known for its strong economy, with a diversified base of industries, including textile, tourism, and financial services, amongst others. Furthermore, Mauritius has been actively engaged in promoting regional trade and economic integration in Africa. The country is a member of several regional trade organizations, including the SADC, the Southern African Development Community, COMESA, AFCFTA. They have signed several bilateral agreements with other African countries, including the African Continental Free Trade Area. Mauritius is also the Secretariat of Indian Ocean Rim Association, which is an influential intergovernmental organization for cooperation amongst Indian Ocean sovereign states. These agreements have helped to promote great economic integration and cooperation and has created new opportunities for businesses and industries. Overall, Mauritius is a worthy example of how digital and trade diplomacy can work together to promote economic growth and development in Africa. By investing in its digital infrastructure, promoting digital innovation, and engaging in regional trade and economic integration, Mauritius has positioned itself as a key player in the digital and trade diplomacy landscape in Africa. In conclusion, we are at the forefront of a new era of technological advancement that will have tremendous impact on our lives. It is up to us to seize this opportunity and use it to create a better world for ourselves and future generations. As we embrace these new technologies, we must also be mindful of the risks that they pose to our society. We must adopt a new form of political economy thinking that focuses on creating value rather than allocating resources. We must also take steps to mitigate the risks associated with technological innovation and ensure that we are prepared for the challenges of the future. Thank you. Before Mel comes in, the question is what's next? And for that, I think Kiru would be the right person to tell us about the school and anything you wish to add from what has been said today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dina. So I'm going to ask Dr. Kiru Pillay to come up, who joins us via Wits University in South Africa, and he can just speak on what Dina mentioned previously. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks, Mel. Thanks, Dina. So I think Leslie mentioned the e-commerce research that we had undertaken. And what emerged from that research is that you can't actually separate trade and industry from digital transformation. You know, it's fundamental. And we started thinking about that, and some of the things that emerged was that we're probably in the fastest period of innovation in history, right, currently. And we have these emerging technologies. They're reshaping the way we deliver services, economic models and frameworks, and it's fundamental to the way countries are evolving now and society is evolving. These platforms offer us a potential to leapfrog and bootstrap entire industries. They offer exponential potential, And we can see that by the various initiatives emerging out of Africa, from the AU 2063, from the digital transformation, from the PRIDA and the PIDA, all of those infrastructure projects, and probably the best example we can look at is this expansion of digital financial services that we are seeing across Africa, everything from M-Pesa to all kinds of digital payments, where the vast number of unbanked in Africa are now becoming more involved, more inclusive in this digital economy. So from that thinking and from this interdependence of trade, industry, and digital transformation, we thought about maybe doing something some kind of construct that's more sustainable, and from that emerged our winter school in trade, industry, and digital transformation, which will have its inaugural launch this year in September. I'm not sure if September still qualifies as winter here, but it's called a winter school in digital trade. It runs in September, and the idea then is to build this capacity around the understanding of these constructs that underpin digital trade, transformation, trade and industry. So it's a school that we are collaborating with local and regional universities, and we've been developing the curriculum. We've had some really good meetings. While I was here this morning, we had a meeting at the University of Mauritius, and we think that we can develop something for Africans, by Africans, that becomes a thing that we hope will grow, and that we can start looking at governance and building a governance capability in the public sector across Africa, so that all the emerging frameworks that are coming out are able to take advantage of this combination of digital trade and digital transformation and disruption and all of those concepts that people are starting to talk about. That essentially is my announcement. I'm not good at announcements, but I'm happy to take questions around the school.
Thank you very much.
Is that it?